Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Karma Margam, outer action and inner meditation. I talk of many daily and periodic actions to be observed. These karmas, devotional rituals, praying to God, social service, etc., though seemingly done to or towards God or for the sake of others, are actually done for one's own sake only. By doing the 64 upacharas or measures of obeisance to God, you are doing no favor to God, but the process gives you satisfaction and fullness. Similarly, in social service, others may or may not benefit by our actions. They may not even need our help. So, though we call it paropakaram or helping others, we may only be helping ourselves to get over our own negative tendencies and feel a sense of being useful to others. In social service, though we may sacrifice our time, energies, and resources and undergo physical exertion and forego other pleasureful activities or entertainments, above all that, we derive a sense of satisfaction and wholesomeness. There is something in us which is enjoying that satisfaction. Similarly, when we do puja to God, are we doing any favor to God? Puja, chanting, homa, japa, tapas, visit to holy places, etc., done with effort, give us satisfaction. So all this is really done in selfishness only and is the purest of selfishness. All your love for your wife or husband or son is not for their sake. You love them because you love yourself. Rishi Yajnavalkyar's Upanishadic statement is that we show or exhibit love, bhakti, devotion, and suffer deprivation and bear with difficulties because of the love we have for ourselves. For that inner satisfaction, we are ready to bear all the external discomforts. Instead, when we try to do things directly for our self satisfaction, it eludes us. In selfishness, we run after wealth, materials, possessions, and pleasures, but we do not get what we want. A short period of sense of achievement is immediately followed by long bouts of dissatisfaction, leading to further wants. Instead of inner fullness, we feel deprived. We look at our face in the mirror. We note that there is no pottu in the forehead. Now, if we apply a tilakam on the image, only the mirror will be smeared. Instead of the image in the mirror, the original man should be given the pottu. When we do things for our own satisfaction, it ends up in being an act of besmirching ourselves. Because in the magical mirror of our minds, what we see as I or me or myself is only an image of the real being. So, if you want to decorate yourself, you have to decorate him. If you want to satisfy yourself, you have to satisfy him. The world and people in it are the exhibited form of him only. So, doing social service is fulfilling. Similarly, doing puja to the divine becomes self-satisfying. Decorating your own body is like besmirching the mirror image. Decorating the image of God is satisfying. All the decoration and cosmetics and beauty treatments done to your body can only lead to high-headedness and pride. All of you bring a lot of garlands of flowers to decorate myself. You do this assuming me to be a Periyaval out of your devotion to me. Instead of garlanding yourself, you do this to me. At such times, if I accept it as a tribute to me, thinking myself to be better than you or bigger than you, it will only lead to my pride and ahamkaram. You are doing it in all sincere devotion, that I cannot deny it either. So I accept them as a decoration for the Supreme Divine Being and offer it to where it belongs, thinking that we are doing something good to ourselves. Our running after money, name and fame, and sensual pleasures are all methods of blackening our own minds only. We will truly benefit ourselves by serving the world and people and all life forms as representatives of the Divine Being. This is best for oneself too. Our inner mind knows this. That is why social service gives more satisfaction than whatever you can do otherwise. If the world is the exhibited form of the Divine Being, we are also the same only. Removing the mirror of mind, we have to experience that we are not different from the Divine. This experience is dhyanam. Through all works, we have to attain to the state beyond works and attainments. Whatever I am doing is also towards this end purpose only. Though we get much pleasure from working, the peace and quiet of sleep is not available in any amount of activity. See how much we suffer when we do not sleep even for one day. There is so much satisfaction in the inactivity of sleep. That means not having to do anything is the highest level of satisfaction. So, to be immersed in the Paramatma Swarupa, that is Supreme Divine Being, without a care in the world, is dhyanam. In sleep, we are not even aware that we are happy. Only after we wake up, we are aware that we have experienced bliss while asleep. Instead, to be aware that we are in supreme bliss is prajna, the end state of dhyanam. So, when we get accustomed to become static inwardly, any amount of dynamic activity externally will not affect our inner bliss. Guru Dakshinamurti's is the complete prajna state of inner bliss. When we sleep, the mind settles down to quietude out of tiredness, nor made of our volition. When we wake up, all that had settled down to quietness comes back with renewed vigor. Death is also a type of sleep only. Death is also a type of sleep only, I said. As in sleep, in death also, mind attains to quietude. Mind attains to quietude. But in the next life, on obtaining another body from inside the body, it starts its functions again. The difference between waking up from sleep and death lies in the fact that we have very poor memory of the previous lifetime and seemingly have better memory after sleep. So, if we bring the mind to quietude by our will, then we can keep it like that permanently. Dakshinamurti is totally actionless with total prajna. Because he is completely static inside, he is capable of much dynamism externally. That static Dakshinamurti is executing the dance of existence with pulsating rhythm, does Tripura Dahanam, that is, burns the triple worlds of here, there, and everywhere, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. He does Bhikshadanam, that is, having given boons to whosoever requests him, runs around in circles to maintain cosmic balance. That is, உள்ளே அடக்கமாக இருக்கிறார், வெளியிலே கூத்து அடிக்கிறார். We can also get much work done if we get inner silence and repose. We are totally different from Dakshinamurti. We want everybody to think that we are very quiet without any attachment. So we play act very poorly that too. Inside we endlessly, restlessly seethe and fume. Of course, we can quieten our minds inwardly only by enforcing some outer calmness. That is why our elders gave us advices on the lines of reduce sensual activities, don't join the crowd, do good to the world, drop all attachments, stop running after money, go to the forest and meditate, and such. But will we easily give up things we have trained ourselves to like and love? No. Only when our mind has attained to a minimum level of maturity will we listen to such advices. So, instead of advising us negatively to give up this and give up that, we are given a positive advice to do this, listing the various karmas. It is a human tendency to get involved in work. You can notice this even in children who readily participate in activities. So we initially start the karmas as levied in Shastras without any likes and dislikes. Even in this, at the start, some likes and dislikes may arise. But instead of straight away getting into dhyanam and control the mind, it is easier to get involved in activities uncaring for individual likes and dislikes, ignoring personal conveniences. Once we start such efforts, the very process enables us to overlook likes and dislikes. Then, with God's grace, desires and hates drop off successively. Cleansing our minds, only then we will be able to drop off all so-called unavoidables, compulsions and musts, and automatically we will be attracted towards meditation. Then the process has its own logic without our volition. Then we do not have to search for a lonely place. We may not have to catch hold of our noses. Here and there and everywhere, you, me and all become an embodiment of divinity. Then the city, town, village and forest and everywhere is ekantam. You can feel this absolute quietude even amidst milling crowds, since all are one. All time, all places, all people, all actions, all inaction is all God only. Your quietude cannot be disturbed anymore. With such inner peace, you can do what you may overly. Perival's words, உள்ளே மரத சாந்தத்தோடு வெளியே எத்தனை கொட்டமும் அடிக்கலாம். உள்ளே மாறாத சாந்தத்தோடு வெளியே எத்தனை கோட்டமும் அடிக்கலாம். In Gita, initially Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, we do his bounden duty of swadharma of fighting a battle. Later on, in the same Gita, there is description of Sri Krishna advising Arjuna about the method of attaining the inner quietude through dhyana yoga, sans any work to attend to. At the far reaches of dhyana yoga, firmly rooted in permanent Brahmanishta or God consciousness, persons like Janaka did a lot of work for universal welfare. Like the sun, which spreads its energy and power without likes and dislikes, without partiality or favor, uncaring for returns, Sri Krishna claims that he is involved in work. What is this seeming contradiction? No, not at all. They are successive steps that follow each other. In the initial stages, when we cannot control the mind, karma, anushtanam, or being of Levite duties is required. Through that, when you attain to cleansed mind, you are advised to do dhyana yoga. This word do preceding the word dhyana yoga is a misnomer because through dhyana yoga we are to become totally inactive. Through yoga, once when siddhi is realized, when nothing anymore can affect you, then for universal kshema or welfare, next step is karma. உள்ளே அடங்கி வெளியே கூத்து அடிக்கிற நிலை. Because now whatever you do is the action of God Himself. In the end, this world is only Maya. All that is there is only Brahman. We have no separate individuality. When we realize this Advaita Siddhanta, we solve our separateness into that without a care, without any to be done duty, remaining without a thought, we be Brahman in the Shankara Bhagavad Pada's view. Since I am bearing his name, I am talking about all type of karma anushtanam, asking you to do Veda karmas, Sandhya Vandanam, Puja, Japa, Yaga, Homa, Paropakaram and so on. Because you have to start from there only. Thus started, it will step by step take you to Advaita. Sri Krishna Paramatma and Shankara Bhagavad Padal have also given the same 4 steps. They are first karma, then bhakti, and then upasana, dhyana, and ending in jnana. Thus successively, bit by bit, with trust, if we progress with devotion, as and when maturity fruitions, we will be steeped in Atma Dhyana. Inner equanimity will result. Then through us, whatever happens will be beneficial to the whole world. That inner equanimity in Parashakti, every day praying to Dakshinamurti, who has the Parashakti in his inner core being and exhibits the same in his silent self, can and will take us to that realization. Set aside all these things like doing dhyana without any karma or doing karma without dhyana, and set aside Atma Anubhava. From the beginning, let us devote a few minutes every day to sit silently, quietly, unthinkingly. This by itself will do. Karma, bhakti, dhyana and upasana are all complementary to each other. Let us at the least stop saying or thinking things like, what is there in these things? What is karma and what is anushtana? All rituals are superstitious. As the dirt in our minds gets dissolved, the inner brilliance will reveal itself. Method of imbibing good qualities. To cultivate good personal traits and qualities, we should follow the directions of Vedas. Outer behavior is based on inner attitudes. The duties as laid down by the Vedas and Shastras talk of daily and periodic simple drills and duties whose cumulative effect is to fine-tune the mind to protect it from wrong and sinful thoughts and permit only ennobling ideas and concepts. To keep one's mind on the right track, guarding against going astray, is a lifelong endeavor without a let till the last breath. The mind can be compared with a monkey, a pendulum waves, the trunk of the elephant, etc. Though capable of greatness, its penchant for mischief is enormous. Everyone cannot have a good mind all of the time. However, sincerely one may wish to be noble and pious and good. It is not easily possible. Consider a child in the house. More intelligent and brainy the child, greater the repertoire of mischiefs it is capable of. The same child, when it goes to school, quickly learns to stick to schedules, meet deadlines, target achievements, and most importantly, learns discipline. The tendency to do mischief disappears. Let holidays come, he is back to his old tendencies. Similarly, if we get involved in activities good for the self and the society without giving ourselves opportunity to go astray, then we can obviate indiscipline. Shastra lay the rules and regulations for this purpose. If we have to get good habits, bad ones must go. To get over our own bad tendencies, we have to develop good ones. The Shastras tell us to do daily Sandhya Vandanams, pujas, feed birds and animals and poor, look after guests, and so on. If you follow its directions, you will have no time for bad and sinful activities. While doing so, we should not carry the ideas that we are too good or great. God has given us the chance to be good, for which we should have a sense of gratitude. Pride, conceit, and inordinate sense of self-esteem are to be given no quarters. Give it an inch, it will not only take a yard, but the whole self. Vigilance has to be very tight to guard against aham bhavam, that is pride, ego. Look in the glass. If it is dirty, covered by a film of dust, you cannot see. Even after cleaning it, you cannot see through it. If it is moving, the glass has to be clean and static if we are to see our image in it. The human mind is like the mirror or glass. It has to be kept clean and fixed. If the truth is to reflect in it or through it, who is the Creator? Who provides us with all? If we are to get to know Him, we have to keep our minds clean, free of dust, and fixed without waver. For 10 years, a copper vessel lies in the well. To make use of the vessel, we have to recover it from the well and rub it clean. More you rub, more bright it becomes. Think as to for how long have we let our minds accept dirt and muck on it. For our wrong and bad deeds and thoughts, we have to rub it clean by karma anushtanam for equally a long period. Mind will be able to perform its allotted role if you do so. It is not enough to do so for one day. Carry on relentlessly. One day the mind will disappear. Only Atma will remain. When there is no more mind, you won't mind anymore. No more cleaning required then. Till then, continue cleaning it by karma anushtanam. What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life or existence? Asks Shankar Bhagavad Padal in his Prashnottara Ratna Malika. His question is, Kim samsare saram? Kim is equal to what? Samsara is equal to in life. Saram is equal to essence. He answers his question too. He says, Bahushaha api vichintyamanam, meaning it is worth asking this question to yourself, meaning that this is the question deserving detailed investigation and analysis. That is, we must deliberate on why am I born in this world? What for? What is the purpose of existence? Will I be able to achieve that purpose? Why do I commit sins? Why do I get angry? Why do I desire? Why can't I be happy and satisfied at all times? Initially, we do not get any answers to the questions. Everything is for the best. In a tree from a flower only, we get fresh and ripe fruits. When it is a flower, its fragrance pleases the olfactory nerves of the nose. When it is a fruit, it tickles the taste buds in the tongue and fills the stomach, satisfying hunger. Unripe fruit is sour and ripe one is sweet. Where has the sweetness come from? What was bitter in the flower is tuvarpu in pinju, is pulippu in the kai, and madhuram or sweet in the param or fruit. In Tamil, tuvarpu is a state which does not have an exact corresponding word in English. Pinju is the small of the fruit. Kai is the unripe fruit. Pulippu is the tangy sour taste. Madhuram is the pleasantly sweet taste and param is the ripe fruit. Madhuram, which is the sweetness of the fruit, is also indicative of the wisdom of maturity. Once the fruit is full of madhuram, it drops off the tree. Similarly, when your heart full of madhuram, all attachments vanish. Till there is soreness, attachments remain. If you pluck an unripe fruit, which is still sour, it will ooze out a little. Then the stem of the tree will also ooze out. That is, both the tree and the fruit do not accept the separation and so ooze out, as though they are shedding tears. But once filled with sweetness, the tree lets the fruit go and the fruit drops off. There is mutual and willing separation. Similarly, a human being who has progressively matured into fruitian can also detach himself from the tree of samsara easily. Before that, there has to be other tastes of sourness and bitterness, exactly as a man has passion, anger, and desire. We cannot totally be relieved of other emotions before attaining maturity, but right from the beginning, one should keep questioning oneself as to what we felt and why and how. This self analysis must go on always. Why do I feel now? I felt desire, annoyed, anger, etc. Was it necessary? Am I getting too emotional? Could I have controlled myself? Such a self check must go on always. If we do not do this, we can easily be deceived. Manikka Vasagar says, Malanga Pulunaindum Vanchanai Seyya. That is, all the five senses are duping us all the time. KTSV adds, Kavigyar Kannadasan said, Kan pona pokile kal pogalama. Kan pona pokile kal pogalama. Kal pona pokile manam pogalama. Manam pona pokile manidan pogalama. He is asking if our feet can go anywhere that our eyes go, and can our mind go wherever our feet go. Lemon should be sour. Betel nut should be tuvarpu. All the tastes have their role and logic of existence, but we should guard against being overcome by our emotions. As a flower progresses through the stages of being a pinju, kai, towards becoming a param, through all that we undergo, our minds should be focused on the end fruitian. We do not have to search for moksham or nirvana. I am not recommending pinjile paduttadal or vembal, that is, precociousness. Wisdom cannot be before its time. As Ramalinga Vallalar sang, Vembi Virundidumo, there is no thirsting after wisdom. As Tirumular said, Asai Arumin, Isanodiyumnum, Asai Arumin, meaning cut out desires even if it's to be with God. When we have a whole lot of good and bad effects of past actions to be experienced, we cannot obviate them just by wishing them away. We do not have to run after wisdom Let us simply do our duties with the idea, let Jnanam come when it has to. In the meantime, let us live as per the requirements of the Vedas. Let us follow what our Dharmam says. To be just and equitable as we do know and abide with worldly affairs, let us give some attention to religious matters too. Let us start application of Vibhuti and Namam and Kumkumam. Let maturity happen in its time. படிப்படியாக பக்குவமாகி பிஞ்சு ஆகி காயாகி கனியாகி உள்ளே இருக்கிற தத்துவத்துக்கு போவோம். Meaning, step by step, let there be maturing taking place as a flower becomes a small of the fruit on its way to becoming a ripe fruit as we proceed to the inner principle of existence. Om Shri Mahaperiva Sharanam.